Hello, everybody. Welcome to Godly Play. I've been thinking this week about judging things. Do you know what a judge is? Judge is somebody who makes decisions about things. When people are arguing about things, the judge comes in and says, this is the right thing to do, or this is the person who's right. And judging can be a verb too, because you can judge things. This last week at work, one day I took a loaf of banana bread in because I had made some, and my recipe makes 2 loaves of bread, which is more than we can eat. So I took some to work. And on the very same day, one of the other people who works at my office also brought in a loaf of banana bread on the very same day. Her name is Ashley. So everyone in the office had lots of banana bread. Now my banana bread has a secret ingredient in it. It's made with pineapple, and the pineapple makes it really sweet and moist. Ashley normally puts chocolate chips in her banana bread, but she didn't have any, so she just made it without them. So one of the other people who works at my office ate some of Ashley's banana bread, and she ate some of my banana bread. And she came to see both of us, and she said, well, they were both good, but I think I liked Helen's banana bread better. So she was judging between the 2 banana breads. And I can't help but think that if Ashley had had some chocolate chips, she probably would have chosen Ashley's banana bread. Now, there are some things about judging in the Bible. In fact, there's some places in the Bible where it says flat out that you shouldn't judge people. Judge not, lest ye be judged. And one of my favorite stories in the Bible is one in which Jesus had been teaching in the temple. That's what he did. He traveled around and he would go to the temple and he would teach anyone who was interested about the kingdom of heaven. And some of the religious leaders, some of the ones who were called Pharisees, didn't like this. They didn't like Jesus, and they didn't like that other people were listening to him. So they always looked for an opportunity to trip him up. So one day when he was teaching, they brought a woman to him, and they threw her down in front of him, and they said, this woman was caught doing something bad. And according to the law of Moses, which was the law that governed their religion and their culture, according to the law of Moses, she should be stoned to death. So what do you think we should do with her? Now, it doesn't say in the Bible what the Pharisees said before they did this, but I always kind of imagined that perhaps they had a conversation that went like this. Well, this is going to trip Jesus up, because if he says you should follow the law and stone her to death, well, that doesn't make him a very nice person, does it? On the other hand, if he said you should not do what the law of Moses said, we can say, well, look at this man. Why should we listen to him? He doesn't even believe in the laws of our fathers. So they waited and waited, but Jesus didn't say anything. He just sort of turned down and where he was sitting, and he sort of wrote in the sand. And they waited for him to say something, and finally, one of them came up and said, well, what do you advise? What should we do? And finally, Jesus looked up and he said, you can go ahead and stone her to death, but let the one who is without sin throw the first stone. And one by one, all of the Pharisees went away. because they knew very well that there was not a one of them who was without sin. And finally, Jesus was left with the woman. And he looked at her and he said, "Where are the people who accuse you?" She said, "They're gone." And he replied, "Well, I don't condemn you either. Go and don't do bad things anymore." So I really like this story, and it makes me wonder about a lot of things. I wonder about why people seem to really like judging other people so much. If you look around, you'll see that that happens a lot in all kinds of different situations. Personally, I think judging people is a lot of work and it takes a lot of energy, and I'd just as soon leave that to God. So maybe you could think about that in the next week, and maybe the next time we get together, I can bring in some banana bread. All right, bye-bye for now.